Hello and welcome to Trust Check with me, Hajara Hosseini. On Trust Check, we bring you verdicts on viral claims that may have had citizens asking so many questions. Before we get into that, let's take a quick break. Welcome back to Trust Check. It is no longer news that citizens have made and will continue to make bold statements as campaigns begin ahead of 2023 general elections. It is only appropriate that you verify any information you come across before sharing it. This will properly guide the public and help to reduce the spread of fake news. On today's episode, we take on two claims. The first is the circulation of a campaign manifesto that allegedly belongs to the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I know a lot of you actually believe that the manifesto making the rounds on social media is the final document Tinubu will present as his plan for Nigerians when elected president. Some Twitter users even went as far as claiming that Tinubu is the second major candidate to release such documents in preparation for campaigns. Some of them thought they were privileged to be among the first set of citizens to have the manifesto and said they were not going to share it with anyone. First of all, do you have an idea what a manifesto is? A manifesto is a policy document in which a political party chronicles its plans, aims, and the cardinal principles of its campaign and how those plans will be implemented if voted into power. But how authentic is the manifesto in circulation? Findings by Trust Check showed that the 29-page document titled My Vision for Nigeria is not new, as it was first circulated in June. The alleged manifesto had the names of former Deputy Governor of Lagos State Olufemi Pedro and Legal Director of Tinubu Campaign Organization, Babatunde Ogala. It talked about improving security and creating hundreds of thousands of jobs. Available information also showed that at the time, the Director of Media and Communication for the Tinubu Campaign Organization, Bayo Onanuga, had disowned the document. He said what was being peddled online, mostly via WhatsApp and Facebook, was not the manifesto of the APC presidential candidate, but a mere draft of suggestions on probable programs Tinubu could implement if elected in February 2023. In his words, Asiwaju Tinubu, in consultation with the party experts in various fields and a broad section of the populace through an empirical and evidence-based approach, is working on an all-embracing manifesto that will be presented to Nigerians when it is ready before the official campaign begins in September. Also, one of the signatories to the alleged manifesto, Ogala, has also confirmed that the viral document was just a compilation of suggested ideas packaged by friends. He said, "It is not Tinubu's manifesto, but also imposed by a group of friends. How it found its way into the media is what I don't know." He added, "It becomes a manifesto when it is eventually put together and doesn't carry anybody's name but the candidate's imprint." Further research reveals that neither the APC nor Tinubu has officially unveiled a manifesto since the inauguration of a 65-man committee saddled with the responsibility of formulating the expectations of Nigerians to determine the manifesto of Tinubu in July. When we come back after the break, we'll bring you our verdict. Welcome back to Trust Check. Relying on information from our research, Trust Check can confirm that the purported manifesto being touted as that of the APC presidential candidate Ahmed Tinubu is false. On the second claim, it was made by the African Action Congress presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore, who asserted that for Nigeria to continue its membership of the Commonwealth, Nigerians should be able to travel to all the 56 Commonwealth countries without a visa when he becomes the next president of Nigeria in 2023. Well, Trust Check verified his claims and found out some interesting facts. Let's start by explaining what Commonwealth means. The Commonwealth is a conglomeration of free and independent countries seeking a common goal in the development of their individual countries by ascribing to the objective of the organization. Decisions made are not binding on countries. In verifying the claim, Trust Check contacted a lecturer of history at the University of Jos, Dr. Jimam Tila, who said that the idea of Nigeria getting free visas to the countries is dead on arrival, as the organization has non-binding policies. Thus, getting free visa has to be a bilateral agreement with individual countries. Dr. La said there are no binding principles with these countries. In the international system, visa entry rules are bilateral. It is one country to another. However, there are multilateral agreements based on regional bodies like ECOWAS. We have free entries and we don't need your visas to go on any West African countries. You just need your ECOWAS passport and a card. He added that just like when Britain left European Union, now they need a visa to visit the EU, and the EU citizens need a visa to come into the UK. There are bilateral relationships between UK and US, UK, Canada and Australia, but we don't have such. So it is left for the president to use foreign policy initiatives to get such bilateral access. He also argued that when you're doing that, you have to also ask yourself if there is a demand from other countries to also come to your country. That has to also be in place. It has to be a two-way thing. He affirmed that Commonwealth is not a regional organization that has a free visa entry, but we are an association of former colonies, so it is a different application, and I think it's a demand or request that is dead on arrival. Also, even if Nigeria decides to withdraw from the Commonwealth, it's unlikely that Sowore would succeed for Nigerians to gain free visas to all countries in Commonwealth, as such agreements is often during a bilateral agreement. So it will be unachievable if he becomes the president. When we come back after the break, we'll bring you our final verdict. Welcome back to Trust Check. Drawing from the explanation we just made, Trust Check can confirm that Sowore's tweet is wrong. Now to our segment of Need to Know. On today's episode of Need to Know, we'll be looking at the flooding occurrences in Nigeria, how it has and is still affecting citizens, and how it can be mitigated. The annual flood outlook unveiled in March 2022 by the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency predicted that 233 local government areas in 32 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) fall within the highly probable flood risk areas, while 212 local government areas in 35 states, including the FCT, fall within the moderately probable flood risk areas. What you need to know is that many areas, both in rural and urban settlements, have been affected, causing loss of lives and properties and increasing the number of displaced persons in the country. Since the beginning of 2022, 300 people have died in separate flood-related incidents, 100 displaced persons, with 500 people affected across the country. Unfortunately, the heavy rain is increasing the risk of waterborne diseases such as cholera. With these developments, Borno State government declared a cholera outbreak with over 700 suspected cases and 39 reported deaths. What can be done to mitigate further occurrences? While government should be held responsible, you as a citizen should take environmental sanitation personally. The government should ensure that there is proper planning when building drainages in urban areas and improve afforestation. There should be a swift response to citizens in areas affected by floods, and more efforts should go into creating aggressive awareness campaigns, especially in those high-risk areas, to mitigate further occurrences. While we bring you weekly reports on false information circulating on and off social media, a simple way to stop the spread of fake news is to verify any information before sharing them. Always remember that fake news causes damage with irreversible effects. For more details on the fact check, visit www.trustcheck.dailytrust.com and follow us on all social media platforms at Trust TV News. Until I come your way next week, I am Hajara Hussaini.